Welcome back to Royal Sussex Squad. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because this channel brings nothing but the truth about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, while exposing the absurdity of their detractors. And if you love what we do, consider supporting the channel by hitting the super thanks button. Now let's dive into the latest royal drama. The 2025 Invictus Games have officially wrapped up, marking a historic moment as the first ever Winter Invictus Games. Despite introducing new winter sports, Invictus kept its core adaptive competitions like swimming, basketball, rugby, and volleyball, further proving the resilience and determination of its competitors. And at the heart of it all was Prince Harry, leading with passion, dedication, and an unwavering commitment to service. Meanwhile, across the pond, King Charles had a very different focus, his ongoing grievance against Harry over something that won't even happen for another 2 years. As plans for the next Invictus Games unfold, Birmingham is set to host the competition in July 2027. Prince Harry, in his usual hands-on manner, is expected to visit Birmingham in July 2026 for the traditional one-year-to-go event. But instead of focusing on the positive impact of Invictus, the royal narrative has been hijacked by a more pressing issue. King Charles is apparently furious. Why? Because the Games are scheduled around the same time as Queen Camilla's 80th birthday, yes? The head of the British Armed Forces, who has failed to acknowledge British veterans or the Invictus Games for 3 consecutive events, is allegedly losing sleep over a scheduling conflict between a veteran-focused sporting event and his wife's birthday celebrations. The sheer irony of it all is staggering. Charles's real problem isn't scheduling. It's the fact that Harry continues to overshadow the monarchy with his meaningful work, while they remain stuck in their outdated, performative traditions. Let's take a moment to appreciate just how ridiculous this is. King Charles scheduled his own coronation, arguably the biggest event of his life, on Archie's birthday, his own grandson. The message was clear: forcing Harry to choose was the priority. Now, years later, the same people who dismissed that as a coincidence are clutching their pearls because Invictus might slightly overlap with Camilla's birthday. And let's be real, how grand does an 80th birthday celebration need to be? Are they planning a month-long parade? A second coronation? The entitlement is astonishing. While Charles and Camilla prepare for their extravagant gathering, Harry will be rolling up his sleeves, supporting injured veterans and ensuring the success of the very initiative that has changed countless lives. The contrast could not be clearer. The royal press machine has once again proven that no matter what Harry does, they will find a way to vilify him. These are the same outlets that call him irrelevant, yet can't go a single day without splashing his name across their front pages. Harry, who has built an international legacy of service, is somehow still framed as the villain, while Charles, who ignored the veterans of his own nation, is playing the victim over a birthday cake. The real reason the palace is so upset? They know that when July 2027 arrives, all eyes will be on Invictus. People will be inspired by the athletes, moved by the stories, and celebrating real perseverance. Meanwhile, the monarchy's carefully orchestrated PR stunts will pale in comparison. Charles and Camilla's biggest fear isn't a schedule conflict, it's irrelevance. The British monarchy thrives on control of narratives, public perception, and most importantly, its own family members. Harry broke free from that. His success with Invictus is a direct challenge to the carefully constructed illusion that the royals are the ultimate symbol of duty and service. The truth? Harry has done more for veterans in the past decade than Charles has in his entire reign, and that reality burns the royal establishment to its core. Beyond Invictus, Harry and Meghan have continued to carve out a space that uplifts and empowers. From mental health advocacy to philanthropy, their work has only expanded. And despite the British press constantly spinning negativity, the Sussexes are still thriving. No amount of royal temper tantrums can change that. The monarchy clings to tradition, not out of love for heritage, but out of fear of change. Harry and Meghan's modern, people-focused approach to service exposes just how outdated and ineffective the royal family's duty really is. That's why they're seen as a threat, because they're the future and the royals are stuck in the past. At this point, it's clear that King Charles will never learn. His pettiness, his jealousy, his inability to rise above family squabbles, it's all too predictable. Instead of celebrating the success of his own son, he's choosing bitterness, and the world is watching. The narrative control is slipping. People are waking up. The hypocrisy, the double standards, the absurdity of it all, it's becoming impossible to ignore. And the more the royals try to paint Harry and Meghan as villains, the more obvious their own insecurity becomes. More and more people in the UK and around the world are seeing the cracks in the monarchy's facade. Younger generations are questioning its relevance, and many are openly supporting Harry and Meghan for choosing a life of meaningful action rather than ceremonial obligations. Invictus is bigger than the monarchy. It's about real people, real stories, real triumphs, and no matter how much Charles and the royal press try to distract from it, they can't stop its success. The world is watching and supporting Harry's mission, whether the palace likes it or not. While the palace obsesses over optics and narrative control, Prince Harry remains committed to making a tangible difference. Invictus continues to thrive, his mental health advocacy grows stronger, and his dedication to service is unwavering. Meghan, as always, stands beside him, proving why she was such a transformative force before the institution drove her away. Together they are building a future based on authenticity, not outdated royal formalities. Thanks to independent platforms like Royal Sussex Squad, the truth can no longer be buried under royal propaganda. Social media, podcasts, and alternative news sources are ensuring that the real story, Harry and Meghan's mission of service, gets heard. Unlike traditional media, which continues to push a biased agenda, these independent voices are providing a counter-narrative that challenges misinformation and exposes the hypocrisy of the royal establishment. When Prince Harry founded the Invictus Games in 2014, he had a vision, one that centered on healing, resilience, and empowerment for veterans around the world. Over a decade later, that vision has grown into something far greater than anyone could have imagined. Invictus is no longer just an event, it's a movement. It represents strength, community, and the idea that service doesn't end when the uniform comes off. Compare that to the British monarchy, which thrives on performative duty rather than actual impact. Charles and Camilla can throw all the birthday banquets they want, but none of that will leave a lasting legacy. Meanwhile, Invictus is changing lives, providing opportunities, and proving that leadership is about action, not titles or crowns. That's the real reason the palace is so threatened. They see Harry creating something meaningful, and they know deep down that their own influence is fading into irrelevance. Invictus is bigger than royal drama. It is about real people overcoming real challenges, and that's why it continues to thrive. Veterans, athletes, and their families see the impact firsthand, and no amount of tabloid nonsense can overshadow the life-changing effect of this initiative. It is a movement that highlights perseverance, courage, and unity, values that extend far beyond any royal feud. So, what do you think, squad? Is King Charles being petty, or is he being petty? Because at this point, it's just comical. Let's know your thoughts in the comments. And if you love what we do here at Royal Sussex Squad, be sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Want to support the channel? Hit that super thanks button. We appreciate every single one of you for keeping the truth alive. Until next time, stay royal, stay winning, and keep calling out the drama.